In a few years, your midsection could look like this, or it could look like this. Now, it's easy to think, oh, she just works harder or she just eats less, but that's not what separates these women. What separates them is that one of them understands something the other one doesn't, yet. Now that yet, it has a window, because the belly fat accumulating during this phase, it isn't just stored there. It's biologically active, producing inflammatory signals that make your metabolism less efficient every single month. And the longer that cycle runs, the harder it becomes to interrupt. 6 months from now, you could still be doing the same things. So eating less, moving more, doing the cleanses, cutting out carbs, and getting the same result. Nothing. Or you could understand what's actually changed in your body and start working with it instead of against it. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Ina, and this channel is for women who do everything right and still can't lose weight or keep it off. If that's you, stick around. So, what actually changed? Not your discipline, not your willpower, your signals. For decades, your body ran on a hormonal operating system that made fat burning relatively straightforward. Eat less, move more, and it responded. Not perfectly, but it responded. After 40, the old tactics, they don't just stop working, they actively work against you because your body isn't responding to just calories anymore. It's responding to what it perceives as safe and what it perceives as a threat. And right now, most of what you're doing, the restriction, the intense cardio, the stress of trying harder, is triggering a response that was never meant for this situation. Once you understand that, everything changes. Because you stop trying to force a result and start giving your body what it actually needs to let go of the belly fat. It starts with a hormone you've heard of your entire life, but probably never understood the full role of it. For most of your adult life, estrogen was quietly doing something remarkable in the background. Among its many roles, it helped maintain insulin sensitivity. And to understand why that matters, you need to understand what insulin actually does. Think of insulin as a key. Its job is to unlock the doors of your cells so that glucose, so the sugar from the food you eat, can get inside and be burned for energy. With healthy estrogen levels, that process ran efficiently. You ate, insulin was released, glucose moved into your cells, and your body burned it. When estrogen declines, insulin sensitivity decreases. Your cells don't respond to insulin as efficiently as they used to, and glucose uptake slows. That means more glucose stays circulating in your bloodstream longer than it should, and your body, working to clear that excess, converts more of it into fat. But elevated insulin doesn't just promote fat storage, it actively suppresses fat burning. As long as insulin stays high, your body cannot efficiently access its stored fat for energy. You can be in a calorie deficit and still struggle to burn fat because the hormonal environment doesn't allow it. And as estrogen declines, the location of that fat storage also shifts. With healthy estrogen levels, fat was preferentially directed to your hips and thighs. Now as estrogen declines, that preference fades and your body defaults to its most metabolically accessible depot, the one closest to your liver, so your belly. Not because you're doing something wrong, because the instructions changed. But estrogen is only the first piece, because at the same time, something else is quietly declining. Something that was giving you a free metabolic boost every single month and doing something critical for your stress response that you probably never knew about. After ovulation, your body built a temporary gland called the corpus luteum, and it produced progesterone, a hormone with two effects that directly shaped your metabolism. Progesterone is thermogenic. That means it literally raises your core body temperature. To generate that heat, your body burns more calories, not through exercise, not through restriction, just through existing. So for 2 full weeks every single month, You had a built-in metabolic boost, completely automatic, completely free, no extra effort, just your body doing its job. But that's not all. Progesterone also acted as your brain's natural stress buffer. It converts a neurosteroid called allopregnanolone, which binds to the same calming GABA receptors targeted by anti-anxiety medication. Your stress threshold was higher. Things that would normally set you off didn't. What most women don't realize is that this stress buffering effect had a direct physical impact on your belly fat. The deep visceral fat around your abdomen is packed with glucocorticoid receptors, the receptor sites that respond to stress hormones and signal fat storage. Progesterone competes for those exact receptor sites. When progesterone was present, it physically occupied them. It blocked the fat storage signal from getting through. In perimenopause, your ovaries start skipping ovulation. No corpus luteum, no progesterone surge. And without it, two things happen simultaneously. Your metabolic rate drops for the entire month. Not dramatically, but consistently enough that over a year, that missing caloric burn adds up to real measurable weight gain, even if you didn't eat a single extra bite. And those glucocorticoid receptors in your visceral fat are no longer being blocked. Stress hormones bind to them more freely. Your belly fat becomes increasingly responsive to every stress signal your body receives. Your adrenal glands are now being asked to fill part of the hormonal gap. They do produce small amounts of estrogen and testosterone as a backup. But they have another primary function, managing your stress response. When a threat appears, they flood your system with stress hormones. Your heart rate rises, your blood sugar spikes, your muscle need immediate fuel, your digestion slows, every non-essential function gets paused. Because right now, the only thing that matters is surviving. That system is extraordinary. It was designed to save your life. The problem is that it was designed for a predator, a real one. Either you escape or you don't. Either way, it's over in minutes. Stress hormones spike, do their job, and drop back down. But your predator in the modern life never leaves. It's the email that arrives at 10 p.m., the meeting you're dreading, the mental load that never empties, the number on the scale that ruins your morning. Your ancient biological hardware cannot tell the difference between a predator and the thought you've been replaying for the past 3 hours. The chemical response is the same. And when that stress response is chronically elevated, two things happen that directly affect your belly fat. First, your liver starts breaking down muscle protein and fat to manufacture new glucose, releasing it into your bloodstream. Even if you haven't eaten, even if you're in a calorie deficit, blood sugar rises, insulin follows. An elevated insulin locks your fat stores. You know that already. Second, those glucocorticoid receptors in your visceral fat, the ones progesterone used to occupy, are now unblocked. And visceral fat cells contain an enzyme that converts inactive stress hormone metabolites back into active form, locally, inside the fat itself. Your belly fat is generating its own stress signals from within. Isn't that crazy? More stress, more visceral fat, more local stress signal production. The cycle feeds itself. And without estrogen supporting insulin sensitivity and without progesterone occupying those visceral fat receptors, the conditions that drive fat storage overweigh the conditions that reverse it. This is why willpower doesn't fix it. This is why eating less makes it worse. And this is why the women who finally break through aren't the ones who tried harder. They're the ones who changed what they were signaling to their bodies. The solution follows directly from the problem. Insulin resistance is keeping your fat stores locked. You know that. And the most direct way to lower insulin is to give glucose somewhere to go that doesn't require insulin at all. and that's muscle. The more muscle you have, the more sugar your body can pull directly out of your bloodstream without needing insulin. And lower insulin means your fat stores finally become accessible. But after 40, your muscles develop what's called anabolic resistance. They stop responding to normal training stimuli the way they used to. You have to force the adaptation through heavy strength training and a robust dose of protein, at least 30 to 40 grams per meal, non-negotiable. Now, let's say you've done all of the key basics. Maybe things are moving a little, but it still feels like you're pushing against something, like the results don't quite match the effort. Lifestyle changes can slow the hormonal decline and make the transition more manageable. But they cannot replace hormones that are no longer being produced in sufficient amounts. At some point, the gap becomes too wide to bridge with food and exercise alone. This is where bioidentical hormone replacement therapy comes in. The fear most women carry around HRT was built on one study, the 2002 Women's Health Initiative, which used synthetic hormones, not bioidentical ones. Synthetic hormones are chemically altered versions that your body doesn't fully recognize. Bioidentical hormones are molecularly identical to what your body has been producing your entire life. And that difference is what determines how your body responds, how your liver processes them, and what the actual risk profile looks like. And when your body recognizes those hormones, the metabolic effects we talked about throughout this entire video become more powerful. As we talked about earlier, estradiol supports insulin sensitivity, which means lower circulating insulin at fat stores that finally become accessible. Progesterone reduces the fat storage signal and restores the stress buffer you lost when ovulation stopped. But this isn't a magic pill. The lifestyle work is what BHRT amplifies. Without it, BHRT is a tool without a plan. With it, it's often the missing piece that makes everything finally click. Please don't just talk to your GP. Talk to a hormone specialist, a practitioner who measures your hormones, listens to your system, and fine-tunes until it's right for you. A full video on hormone replacement therapy is below. Now imagine 6 months from now you're getting dressed and not dreading it. The belly that wouldn't move despite everything you tried, smaller. Your energy is predictable. The irritability, the mood swings, the feeling of being on edge, quieter, proportionate. Yours again. You're eating, moving, sleeping, and your body is responding. That's what becomes possible when the conditions that were driving your belly fat are no longer in place. And if you want someone to help you map out the full picture, your hormones, your metabolism, what your body specifically needs right now, the link is in the description. Until next time, remember, your body never needs to be fixed. It needs to be understood.